Our group is going to be presenting over dysfunctional anatomy today. My name is Macy, and my group mates' names are Peyton and Jennifer. Starting out, I'm going to go over a few definitions. First off is dysfunctional. So what this means is not working normally or not functioning properly. So the next term is anatomy. So anatomy is the science that studies the structure of the body. So the reason that I'm telling you these two terms today is because our presentation is going to be over dysfunctional anatomy. So these are going to be functions that are not normal or unusual. So the first animal that we're going to go over today is the wood frog. So first I'm going to give you a little description. So the wood frog is a small to medium-sized frog that it's about 3 inches in length, and their coloration is tan to brown with a blackish or brown mask over its face, and this is often referred to as like a robber's mask. So they actually have a yellowish to green white belly, and they have a light stripe on its upper lip, as you can see in the picture. Now I'm going to move on to some information on the habitat and range of these frogs. So they're often found all the way from Canada to Alaska to the northern parts of North America, and they can be found in a wide variety of moist wooded areas. And they're one of the most terrestrial frogs, and they're often found very far from water unless they're breeding. And whenever they are breeding, it's usually in a fishless temporary wetland, and then they hibernate under stumps and logs in the wooded areas. So the habits of this wood frog include they're active during the night and the day, and they produce thousands of babies. So the reason for this is because not all of them survive, so it gives a better chance of survival. And then moving on to their diet, they feed on beetles, spiders, snails, worms, millipedes, slugs, and other small invertebrates. True or false? The wood frog can freeze itself solid. Continue back into normal life. So the way that they actually do this is the liver creates glucose, which is a sugar-like solution, and then it goes into the frog's major organs, and that's what protects them from freezing. So it's just the outside of the organs that freeze, not the inside.
So the next species we're going to be talking about is the Texas horned lizard. Their diet is made 95% of these harvester ants. These ants actually have a toxin in their sting that these lizards have developed a special plasma that negates the effects of this toxin. Also, these lizards have developed strong pockets of mucus in their throat that protects their esophagus and larynx while consuming these lizards so they can't bite the inside of their throat. The Texas horned lizard lives mainly in West Texas, but there is 17 different species of horned lizards all the way from Mexico to the southern part of Canada. And these lizards are predated upon coyotes, bobcats, and foxes. So, true or false, Texas horned lizards shoot toxic chemicals into their predator's mouth? Okay, so this is actually false. It is blood that they shoot into the predator's mouth. They do this by cutting blood flow from the eye to the heart. They stop that so the blood starts pooling in their sinus ducts, and they rapidly contract the muscles around their eye that builds and builds and builds the pressure as the blood pools, and eventually they release it into the predator's mouth. Now, these are unique in doing this. Most lizards don't do this, and this is because this lizard has short, stubby legs, so it's not anywhere near as fast as other lizards. Also, most lizards have a long tail that they can disconnect to distract the predators, and the horny toad also has a short, stubby tail. So its main defense is camouflage, and then it uses the blood if it gets found.
So onto the blobfish. The blobfish's body composition is quite different, being referred to as gelatinous, having a density lower than water, allowing it to float as it doesn't have a swim bladder, which usually helps a fish with floating. Their bones are made from incredibly soft and compressible cartilage, which helps it survive deep in the ocean. And they kind of work like a slime in a container. The container helps keep slime's shape. With the blobfish, the container is the water pressure, helping it keep its shape, and it looks like the top photo. When taken out of the container, so out of the deep water, it has nothing to force its shape, and it looks like the bottom picture. True or false? Blobfish can live up to 130 years. So that is true, mainly because deep water fish live longer because of their slower growth rates. And blobfish live in depths of 2,500 feet, which is very deep in the water, And the structure of their bones help with the amount of pressure down there, and they feed on benthic invertebrates, so they dwell in benthic waters. And this basically means they live and feed at the bottom of the seafloor.
Okay, so next we're going to be talking about the shoebill stork. This is a rather large wading bird growing up to 5 feet tall. It is found in East Africa in the swamps and wetlands, and it is suggested that there is only 3,300 to 5,300 mature individuals left in the wild. Its habits, it is an ambush predator, so it'll stand still as a statue for hours waiting on its prey to swim by before it snatches it up. So it is a carnivore, and they lay 3 eggs, but they only raise 1 offspring, so the strongest offspring that comes out of those 3 eggs, it only raises 1 of them. Okay, so I'm going to start playing a sound here for you. So, true or false, this is the sound of firecrackers on the 4th of July. So this is actually false. This is the stewbill stork. That noise is made by clacking its upper and bottom beak together vigorously. It only does that in an interaction kind of way around the nest between the adults and the offspring. This clog-shaped beak is how it got its name, the shoebill. And the main adaptation for this beak, unlike other wading birds you can see in the picture at the bottom, this beak allows for a more varied diet. They even eat small crocodiles, iguanas. They don't have to just eat fish like a lot of other wading birds.
So what would you say is causing the fur of the sloth to be green? So their fur is green because of the algae and fungi growing on it. So the sloth's integument system, being the body's outer layer like skin and hair, is unique. They have microcracks in their fur, and like the picture on the right. This allows for the perfect environment for both algae and fungi to grow. How does the sloth benefit from this? The microcracks in their fur that allow for these microorganisms to grow is key to the sloth's defense mechanism against predators, being camouflage. Sloths are also found in the rainforests of Central and South America. And the hint of green allows for them to blend into their arboreal environment, which is an environment composed of trees. They can eat their leaves and twigs more peacefully with this camouflage. These were some unique anatomical traits throughout all taxa, being amphibians, reptiles, fish, birds, and mammals. And now that we've given some examples, do you know any unique anatomical traits? If so, comment below. And here are our references.